USA Today published an article that went viral, basically saying it's not your fault you're overweight, obese, or just unhappy with how much fat you have, and you can't control it. Americans don't choose to be fat, it's a system they don't control. In this video, I'll walk you through why thinking this way is wrong and how to change your mind from it's this person or this reason's fault that I'm fat and I'll never change it, I can't fix it, to who cares whose fault it is, it's my responsibility to change it. So in this article, it goes on to describe a woman named Barbara who weighed 337 pounds. For decades, she tried every diet. Spoiler alert, they were fad diets. And then she got gastric bypass surgery and lost 200 pounds. And then over the next 8 years, she regained 70 pounds. 13 of the 14 Biggest Loser contestants regained all the weight that they had lost during the 2009 season. I'm only bringing up the Biggest Loser part because they brought this up as evidence as why weight loss doesn't work. And in both cases, you could have guessed this from the start, that this was gonna be the outcome, that they're gonna regain all the weight they lost. Why? Because surgery or extreme nutrition and training protocols don't create lasting change. I'm not against surgery, but the doctor should make it known to the patient that without any nutritional or exercise habit change, they're not gonna sustain any results. And the contestants on The Biggest Loser should have been notified that the unsustainable actions they're taking to get to their goal will not be able, you won't be able to maintain those. From the article, they agree people need to take responsibility for eating as well as they can, for staying fit, for sleeping enough, but simply promoting individual change won't end the obesity epidemic just as it hasn't for decades. You could learn how to start losing weight and do it sustainably in minutes. How to lose 15 pounds of fat sustainably is one of my best videos on this. You could learn how to create your own sustainable fat loss plan in under 13 minutes. And there's thousands of other videos that people post daily and weekly. Maybe in the past, all you had for good information or information at all is like a shitty Instagram influencer and People magazine, which is absolutely horrible. But nowadays you have me and other online coaches that put out free videos that are both evidence and science based on how to achieve sustainable weight loss. So yes, it may not be your choice or your fault that you're fat right now, but going forward, it absolutely is. If you want to change and you're not making efforts right now by either hiring outside help or doing the research on your own, it is then your fault to stay overweight, stay obese, or stay unhappy with how much body fat you have. Fault does not equal responsibility, right? So if you go outside one day, out your front door and you see a baby on your doorstep, it's not your fault that that baby's there, but it is your responsibility to either take care of it or bring it to some place they will take care of it. Another quote from the article, there's a lot of misconception among patients that they can somehow behavior their way out of this. For the vast majority, trying to will your way to thinness is just a prescription for misery. All right, so we've all heard this type of advice before, right? You just need to put your head down and grind, discipline, go watch David Goggins' videos on YouTube until your eyes are bleeding. In reality though, your current life and your body is a product of all of your habits that you do daily and weekly. And the only way to achieve anything as remarkable as a body transformation, it's through voluntary discomfort. So here's what I mean. So tracking your calories is not fun. Nobody really enjoys doing it in the moment. You do when you start seeing the results though, but it's not fun, right? You don't yearn to track your calories on a food scale. That takes willpower, that takes discipline, that takes voluntary discomfort. Going to the gym and lifting weights and weight training and not just going through the motions is hard, it's difficult, not everybody wants to do that. Walking 20 to 60 minutes a day because you have a sedentary job, it's difficult, it's not fun. You'd rather watch Netflix show on the couch. Put that on the treadmill and watch the Netflix show on the treadmill. Having to say no to yourself more with your nutrition is hard at first, but it makes for a better and more free life. A lot of people think discipline means restriction, means no fun, but it actually leads to complete freedom, because once you can fully control yourself, you are free to make choices that you want. And being in full control of yourself is freedom. So what I mean is willingly suffering through the start is the only way to get through that learning curve, only way to make it a habit, and the only way to get there. So you might have to grind. You might have to put your head down and watch some David Goggins YouTube videos. Suffering is not an inherently bad thing. It's not bad to use discipline and willpower to build and strengthen sustainable habits. Another quote, there's so much suffering associated with weight that it's just so unnecessary. I absolutely agree with this one. One of the biggest forms of suffering that I see with the majority of my online fat loss clients is the scale, is weighing yourself, doing daily weigh-ins. And that's all because of other people making people feel like they need to see a half a pound come off the scale in one single day. When in reality, these mainstream media outlets should be informing the people that your weight is gonna fluctuate daily for the rest of your life, So you should extract the weekly averages of your daily weigh-ins every single week to get an actual representation, true representation of which way your weight is trending. Zero reason to not do it that way, and all my clients love it. Shout out to my recent one, Amy, who is on week 3 right now, and she hated the daily weigh-ins, but now that she's seeing the weekly averages, actually loves it. This is a classic piece of advice we've all heard. We tell them to eat less and exercise more. So that's true, I do see a ton of mainstream media outlets promoting that. When in reality, we should be saying you should eat less calories, but more food. Increase the food volume of your meals, but without increasing the calories and actually with reducing the calories. And just 3 simple ways you can do this is buy leaner meats. When you're making tacos, instead of 80% lean, buy 93, buy 97% lean. Second way you can do this is buy fat reduced products. So cheese and dairy products, instead of buying the full fat versions, buy the reduced fat or the fat-free versions. And number 3 is to buy reduced sugar sauces. So barbecue sauces, dressings, any of that, just buy the reduced sugar or the sugar-free version. And the exercise more, absolutely. I think everybody should exercise more. If you're not walking daily or getting in movement daily and weight training 3 to 4 times per week, that should be your new standard, and that's the goal you should set for yourself. Not weight training 7 days per week and not running every single day. Doing a walk every single day for 20 to 60 minutes and 3 to 4 weight training sessions per week. This is one of the biggest problems with the article. Since it's a mainstream media outlet, they should be giving you all of the science-backed, evidence-backed information with no bullshit. But then the article goes on to describe how calorie restriction leads to a lower metabolism, while not mentioning that the same thing happens when you eat higher calories and go into a calorie surplus trying to gain weight. Your metabolism will go up. This is called metabolic adaptation, and it's a completely normal process in your body. A study was published last year that had over 6,600 people involved in 29 different countries, ranging from ages 8 to 95 years of age. They found that your metabolism actually does not decrease until you hit your 60s. So when people say that their metabolism is broken or their metabolism is shit, what they're really saying to me is that they don't strength train regularly 3 to 4 times per week. They are sedentary in their jobs and they don't do anything about that with cardiovascular activity like going on a walk or a jog every single day. They're not tracking their calories, or they're not tracking their protein, or they're not tracking both. And they've been told this by mainstream media outlets, so it's an easy nail to hit on the head. So what are my thoughts on this article? I didn't really like the title. The title really should have said what they quoted in the article. Americans don't choose to be fat, it's a system they don't control. So you don't need to control the system, you just need to control yourself. The system's always gonna be rigged for you to consume more. They want you to consume more. This may be a systemic issue, but we're not policymakers, so this is really a personal issue that requires personal responsibility. There's no shame involved. I don't necessarily believe that becoming obese or overweight is your fault, but I truly believe, and I hope you believe for your sake too, that it's your responsibility going forward to change it if you want to. And if there's one amazing thing I loved from this article, is that it stated the help is there and all you have to do is ask. She finally found that doctor that gave her that support and accountability that she needed through daily calls, and she told her she would be there for her if she was ever struggling, and that finally helped her to make the change. So the help is there. You just need to go out and ask me, ask another online coach, ask an in-person trainer, ask a doctor for help, and it's their job. It's my job to help you. And also, like Barbara, you might have a thyroid or hormone issue that you need to get worked out with your doctor and maybe get medicated. But it's so important to note that this medication, there's no magic pill. They're not gonna change what's wrong with your daily and weekly habits. So if you're unhappy with your body composition or the amount of fat that you have on your body and you wanna lose it, I completely support you. So the only thing to do now is to not give up, right? If you never give up and you be persistent over being perfect, right? Persistence over perfection, you will succeed. There's no other option if you never give up. So many people go really hard for 1 or 2 months and then quit. I believe in you and I'm always here to help. I'll talk to you soon.